I know that you have a lot to take care of and to harness. I do know that because that's the natural path of everybody who's trying to pursue an art career. That's normal. I was not even supposed to talk about this today. I was not planning to talk about this. And I decided to change topics at the last minute. Actually, at the last hour. And the reason I did that is because I realized how fatigued I have been feeling lately. It is very difficult for me to pinpoint exactly what. And once I asked myself, very honestly, what am I even bothered by? Then I could come with the conclusion that it's all me. It's all me. And when I try to apply this to other artists that I know and case scenarios, I realized that that's usually the case. And the reason that people can get fatigued and can feel like they're carrying the world on their shoulders will vary a lot. But at the end of the day, the result is going to be then putting a lot of pressure in themselves. This feeling like you have to deliver, that you have to try and pursue whatever you're trying to pursue with perfection and trying to prove something not only to the world but also to yourself. And although we take this as normal, as the regular protocol for life as an artist, mainly when you are the underdog, because that's the thing, once you get some recognition, even if you're not getting paid a lot, some recognition still makes you feel like you're doing something right. And it's not that you are not, if that's not the case, if you're not getting recognized by what you do, it's not that you're not doing something right. It's just that you're not too many reps in yet, or you still haven't figured out that project yet, or people just haven't found out about you, which happens a lot. Now, I firmly believe, and I've said that before in other episodes, that if you really pursue something that is aligned with you and is pure and it comes from your heart, artistically speaking, people are going to find out about you eventually and they're going to align with you. But until that happens, it can feel like this distress is just too much to handle sometimes. And all that pressure that people around you have been putting into you your whole life, or at least from the moment that you decided that this is something that you would pursue, it becomes yours now. They have lended to you their preoccupations, because the limits they have in their own lives is the limits that they believe you must have as well, which is rarely the case, because people are so different. But it does feel like it's true for some time, because you don't see results. Now, this goes beyond just having a good lifestyle. It's beyond that. Because again, this channel is not just about feeling good with yourself and like some psychology stuff. I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a therapist. But it's also about doing the best work that you can do. And the problem with artistic endeavors is that you cannot be your best if you are emotionally distraught, unless your art has something to do with this distraught. Like, unless you are putting yourself in dangerous situations, emotionally dangerous situations, in order to make art, which is controversial, but some artists have done that, right? Like Salvador Dali. That happens, but those are exceptions. You know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this uncontrolled, untamed, unwanted stress that goes around your life, not just related to art, related to your living, your livelihood as a whole. But creative endeavors don't benefit from it. And it's true that feeling emotionally distraught can make you, it cannot make you, it will make you suffer in everything in your life. But some of you may have realized already that you can push through sometimes. Sometimes you're feeling tired and you can push through work, mainly if it's mechanical work, and do stuff, and it's still gonna come out. Like, the process is gonna be tough and the results are gonna be terrible sometimes, but you can do that. The problem with creative acts is that you can't complete them wholly if you don't have a clear mind, if you don't have a clear direction to where you're going. And it can feel impossible to finish something, and sometimes it is. The creative process needs you to have a clear mind, to feel at ease and at peace. That's why this state of anxiety makes everything impossible in art. And it's funny and actually awful that for most of us, trying to pursue an art career, even if those around you support you in some way or say they support you, even if they show love to what you're doing, there's still a whole discourse that goes around people's heads, and things that we do and the ways that we behave related to it that kind of tell that we all think it's a bad idea, which is not. But this puts us on survival mode. We stop feeling like we're doing something in order for us and other people to feel inspired and delighted. We stop thinking about art like this, and we start thinking about ways and mechanics that we can use to not survive anymore and just start living. And the paradox lies in that. That's where the paradox is. The more you try to get out of survival mode, the more you are into it. Because just thinking about this way makes you automatically, by definition, in survival mode. And again, you cannot live in survival mode and be at peace with your art. And by consequence, you're going to have even more stress just by the act of doing art. It becomes something stressful, which kills the purpose of it entirely. And like I said, I feel fatigued now. And for that reason, this video is not just an advice from me to you, but also a reminder for me to myself that we have to reframe things. It is not our fault that things are complicated in this field, mainly nowadays that we're having some technological advancements, to say at least. I don't want to say its name. I don't want to say it's AI, but like, we have different problems now and we don't know how to deal with them yet in the art field. But we're going to figure it out with time. But until then, we have to reframe things, because if we don't do that, nobody's gonna do that for us. Unfortunately, I wish that it was a more important discussion, that people cared more about this, but truth is, most don't. So we have to care for ourselves. That's why I have this channel in the first place. I'm not talking about specific techniques and specific art fields lately, because I feel like this has to be a community for all kinds of artists to feel at peace, at least for some time, and to discuss and to exchange ideas and thoughts and feel good about our practices. That's what I feel like this should be. So I do believe that we should reframe things, even if it's at first obviously negative. Sometimes we can think through something and find some light. And the first thing that is going to happen is that you're going to notice some resistance from some people, and that's fine. And when I say resistance, I don't mean that people are going to automatically just judge you and try to stop you from being an artist. Only you can do that, and I advise you that you don't. But they're going to be against it sometimes. And this act, by being against you and what you're thinking about, your dream projects, your dream career, they're going to echo in your mind. And you're going to repeat those same ideas back, which are not going to help you. If some beliefs don't help you at all, why should you hold them? Like, if you're into this, if you decided to get into this art career thing, just go thoroughly. Go like with your whole spirit into it. It doesn't make sense if you just kind of half do it, because it needs your whole being in order to go against a whole myriad of discourses on how this is not a good idea there's a chance for you to get to a good place in your life with this kind of practice. There's place in the world for artists, and more often than not, great artists have proven that. And the specific reasons that you might not feel at ease and you don't feel good with your art career right now, they might vary. Maybe you don't earn enough money from it to quit your job. That happens. That's my case now. Maybe you don't feel like you are skilled enough. Maybe you feel like it would be a dishonor for your family and for those who are around you. Maybe they wanted something different from you. Maybe you just don't know yet if that's what you want for sure. And that's the thing, it varies. But as I said before, at the end of the day, it's all about you pressuring yourself. You trying to get from you an answer that you still don't have. And this makes you get into this loop of feeling anxious and getting into survival mode. And this makes you panic and try quick solutions based on logic. Sometimes logic just doesn't work perfectly because we are stressed. And when we are stressed and anxious, we don't think thoroughly, even if we think that we do. And these acts make us frustrated. And then we get more anxious and more into the survival mode, and it becomes an eternal loop. It feels hard to get out of it. And I have some ideas of an actual actionable plan for you to put into practice, but it might vary from you. So if you are willing to listen to me and to think about this and try to change this, if you're feeling these kind of things, I advise you to extrapolate this and try to apply it to your personal situation. But just as an overall guide, I have thought about 5 different ideas, 5 different steps that you could put into practice and try to get out of this loop. Try to get this weight out of your shoulders and try to put it back into the world, which is where it belongs. So the first step should be identifying what it is. What is it that is making you stressed about it? Is it lack of money? Is it lack of recognition? Is it lack of self-confidence, skill? It might vary. It might be more than one thing at the same time. It might be all things that I have quoted and even more. But you just need to identify it first. If you don't know what it is you're going to fight against, you are not going to be able to armor yourself properly against it. The second thing should be think about people around you who reinforce these feelings, reinforce these ideas and beliefs. And you should not exclude them from your life necessarily. Sometimes it's necessary, but for most part, it won't be necessary to exclude them from your life. But try to think about what they say, not from your lenses, not from your world. Try to recognize that everything they're saying about you and your skills and your art career, it's coming from their fears, from their limitations. Once you do that, it becomes easier to look at them with some kind of grace and not resistance, not hate. Because if someone's saying something and it makes you tilt, it makes you feel some kind of negative emotion, they're affecting you. And they affecting you is the last thing that you want, because your path is already complicated enough without that. So don't let them make it even more complicated. Just go with it. Just follow your path without their intervention. Because if you are trying to pursue an art career and live from it, and those around you are saying things that goes against it, they're probably not in a mental and livelihood place and state that you want. And one of the worst things that we could do is listen thoroughly to people who are not in places that we want to achieve. That doesn't even make sense. At the end of the day, we realize that they don't know what they're talking about, specifically about this. So trust your vision. Be careful. Don't be crazy. If you still don't earn enough money to quit your job and pursue an art career, maybe it's safer to still be on your job why you don't get enough money. But aside from that, aside from you being safe and okay mentally and physically, aside from that, listen to yourself. Identify who is reinforcing these negative feelings and realize that it doesn't even make sense for you to listen to them. And don't necessarily exclude them from your life, but reframe it. Reframe the way that these words get to you. Don't let yourself get affected by it as much. And actually the third step is kind of, integrated with the second, which is identifying the fluke in what they're saying, identifying the mistake that they're committing in their logical reasoning. Most of the times, they are saying things that they don't fully understand, and they are probably wrong. And even if they are right in their reasoning, the way they're applying it to you is wrong. So identify that. Understand that they're trying to pick a general rule and apply it to you. But you are different. You have your own path. Things that happen to other people have not happened to you and vice versa. So you are free to cater and follow through your own path. That makes the whole difference. That by itself makes their discourse wrong. So identify what is wrong in what they're saying. The fourth thing should be giving yourself time to heal. Get acquainted with these emotions. Try to understand them. If it's affecting you, you should first become neutral with it. It's very hard for you to get from a point of absolute distraught and pain and transform that into something beautiful. It's easier if you actually make things neutral at first, and then you build your way up to positive feelings. Trying to transform something from negative to positive without middle steps can be harmful sometimes, because you might feel like you are overcoming it when you are actually ignoring it. So feel those feelings, feel this anxiety, understand what it's trying to tell you. And once you become neutral with it, once you become acquainted with these feelings, then you can transform them. Let them sink in, and then you can just put them out gently. It's better to do things gently than with force. That's my philosophy for everything, including that. And the fifth and last step should be, once you are feeling these positive emotions, once you feel like you have armored yourself against these beliefs and understand they are not yours anymore, be ready to use these positive feelings to get back at work, to get back at your practice, to do what you love again. First feel good with it and about it, then get back to it. Because if you don't feel good enough about it, if you feel more stress and anxiety than fulfillment, why are you even doing this anymore? Feel good first. Find your way through it. Understand how to get back to the passion and fulfillment above everything else. And then let these feelings guide you, because most of the time, these are the two things, passion and fulfillment, the two things that are going to lead you to actually make great art. Not logic, not reasoning, but emotional alignment, feeling good with it. And I will remind myself of that as well, whenever I feel fatigued and whenever I feel like I'm carrying the world on my shoulders. We should not do this. We are not entitled to do this. Our practice has nothing to do with this. We should just let it go, gently on the ground. The world needs to be there, and it needs to watch us while we get prepared to show them, why are we even doing this? If this made any sense and has helped you think about it, at least, consider liking this video and subscribing and commenting, just so more people can reach this and maybe they can be helped about this situation as well. And if you have reached this far in this video, thank you so much for being with me, talking about this, and thank you for trusting my ability to think about things enough so you could listen to me. And hopefully, I'll see you around next time. See ya.